This is the Betta solar-powered automatic robotic pool surface skimmer cleaner. It's a sleek, modern device, mostly white with a low, flat profile that just floats across the surface of your pool. I was honestly pretty skeptical at first when I heard about robotic pool skimmers running on solar power. I've had my share of pool tools that promised a lot but couldn't keep up after a month in real conditions, so I wanted to give a really honest, practical take on what stood out with the Betta and how it measured up to my own experience. Just looking at it, you can see the big solar panel on top. That's one of its key features. It gets all its power from the sun, so there are no cords and no hassle about wiring or plugging things in. It just floats, charging itself, automatically doing its thing 24/7 as long as there's sunlight. There's a simple handle on top too, which makes it super convenient. You just lift the skimmer from the water and you're right at the debris basket. From my experience, the one-handed basket removal is a detail that actually matters. You don't have to fumble around or get your hands all wet and gross when all you want to do is empty out leaves and pollen. The Betta SE uses these little spinning wheels underneath, which basically help collect any floating stuff: leaves, dust, pollen, little bugs, even some pet hair. These wheels and a built-in fine mesh basket work together. The debris gets swept inside as Betta glides across the pool. The first time I pulled the basket up, I was actually amazed at how much it picked up. Sometimes there were things I hadn't even noticed floating around since they were so small. One detail I was curious about before buying was how this would handle getting around the pool. Honestly, from my experience, it does great. It has a set of bumpers and built-in ultrasonic sensors. If it bumps into the wall, a ladder, or even one of those weird pool features, it just backs off and keeps moving. It rarely gets stuck for long. In my pool, which has some odd corners and curves, I'd watch it basically zigzag, figure things out, and just keep cleaning. I also really like that it works in both forward and reverse directions, which helps it not miss spots and makes sure it's not always driving debris toward the same end. If you're new to robotic pool cleaners, I want to mention the basic idea. The unit isn't going to vacuum the pool floor, it skims just the surface, like the built-in skimmer basket in the wall does. Another thing that stands out is the battery. When it's sunny, it can run and charge itself at the same time. On cloudy days, it still works for hours after a full charge. The manual says it can run up to 30 hours without sunlight if it's already charged. From my experience, it's never actually needed to stop unless I take it out to empty the basket. The full recharge only takes about 5 to 6 hours of direct sun. If you're worried about long, hot summers wearing it down, here's something reassuring. The plastics and panels are UV resistant, so they're made to hold up with full sun exposure all season long. I know some people have wondered about maintenance. For me, it's been pretty simple. The top handle lets you lift out the large debris basket, which is a fine mesh, but surprisingly easy to rinse out. If I check it once or twice a week, that's usually enough. I do recommend checking the sensors now and then, because if they get too dirty, the Betta sometimes gets confused or starts moving in circles. It's easy to wipe off, so it hasn't been a real hassle, but I like to mention it for first-time users. Just a quick clean, and it's back to running smoothly. The skimmer's motors are called twin Salt Chlorine Tolerant motors, which means they don't get corroded by salt water or chlorine. That's pretty big for people with saltwater pools. I've had friends whose cheaper robots basically fizzled in a month from all the salt. This one has held up well so far for me. Another pro is that there's actually a warranty from Betta, which helped boost my confidence with the buy. From my experience, the cleaning performance is probably the biggest reason I've come around to really liking this device. The main selling point is that it actually keeps your pool visibly cleaner. I was always having to go out and manually net leaves, bugs, and those weird floating pollen clouds, sometimes several times a day. Now, Betta just quietly takes care of all that. I feel like I barely ever have to use my old net. If you have a lot of trees or plants around your pool, it'll save you a ton of time. In my opinion, Betta's cleaning is more consistent than the built-in wall skimming system. My pool's wall skimmer just isn't always powerful enough, especially if the water level has dropped a bit or the wind is blowing debris into the far end of the pool. Betta goes wherever the debris is, not just where the skimmer inlet is. So whether it's a windy day, lots of pollen, or just a regular swim, the surface looks clear much more often. There are a couple of small issues worth mentioning. While the skimmer picks up a surprising range of stuff, it sometimes struggles with really big or heavy leaves. I've had a few stick to the edge or get shoved along the side, so occasionally I have to reach in and deal with those manually. Also, This isn't ideal for infinity pools or pools with fancy tile edges. I've read and seen a few comments about it scraping, so just check if this fits your setup before buying. I also noticed that, like any battery device, you might see performance drop after a few years, but so far, mine's going strong. I'd recommend this for pool owners who want to cut down on manual cleaning without adding to their energy bill, since it's 100% solar powered. It's perfect for anyone who hates having to constantly skim for leaves or pollen, especially if you want to keep your pool ready for impromptu swims. As someone who used to stress about guests seeing floating bugs or mucky stuff, it's been a big boost just to see the surface looking inviting most of the time. The automatic cleaning really does free up your schedule. In conclusion, the Betta has turned out to be a great little helper for me. I hesitated for a while because I wasn't sure if it would hold up or if I was getting sucked in by another trendy gadget, but it's proven itself. It reliably skims the pool without needing constant attention, and I love that I don't have to plug it in or run cords across my backyard. The design's smart, the maintenance is super manageable, and the results speak for themselves. From my experience, the pros really do outweigh the cons, especially for how hands-off the whole process feels now. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your pool cleaning game or eliminating one more chore from your weekly routine, the Betta is definitely worth a look. If you have any questions, or if you want to share your own experiences, I'd love to hear from you. Just leave a comment down below. And if you found this quick review helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help support more reviews like this one. Thank you for watching.